Hi everybody, and welcome back to Nellie Root Designs. We're going to finish up, this is part two, I guess I will name them part one, part two, of the collaboration that Liz over at Buttons for Brains and I are doing. I volunteered to make the journals, and um, I'm finishing up mine. Hers is done. It's going to be mailed out very soon. And all I have to do is bind mine. And if you didn't see part one, I suggest you go back. It's where I made the exterior, the book cover. And now I'm going to be putting in the signatures. Now, for the other one, I had to cut them down just a tad. So the papers in the one that I'm sending to Liz, they're 5.5. These here, obviously I made the cover just a little bit bigger, and I could cut them down if I wanted to, but I don't think I will because I think it's fine just the way it is. So these are 6 inches, okay? A lot of these are just scrap papers that I cut down. So these measure little more than 8.25, just a smidgen more than 8.25 by 6, little less than 6. And the the dyed papers, they are just about 5.5 when folded. They're 8.5 by 11, so you can figure that out. Again, these needed to be lightweight because we're going to be sending them. They're going to be going back and forth from Scotland to, USA, Scotland to USA. So we wanted them to be light so we could keep the cost down. And I tried to stick with neutral colors that matched the inside of the inside of pages of the book. And I also had to keep in mind, we're going to be stamping in these. We're going to be collaging. We're going to be putting, featuring some of our, the area that we live in. So I wanted to keep it, just muted and neutral. I know we both like to use vintage paper dolls. You could put something on here. If you've seen Liz's work, she does a lot of with Tim Holtz, paper dolls, a lot of different things. She'll do whimsical things. She likes to paint in them. I like to use watercolor. Excuse me. I don't have any watercolor paper in here. But I think, we could use, there's a lot of things that we could do. We'll be, using glue, in some other forms of mixed media and things like that. So I tried to pick colors, textures, backgrounds that we could really have fun and play with. So you'll notice here, I'm going to bind this now. And you'll notice here that I do have some half sheets of paper. And I think they are fun to work with. But what I like to do when I have a half a sheet or a little more than half a sheet, you'll notice I put one on the top and then I put one on the bottom. And I think I have another one, and I have that one at the top. It kind of balances out the weight of the book. I wouldn't want them all down on the bottom. And I'm just going to make sure that I don't want to trim any of these down. And I don't think I do. I think this is fine just the way it is. Okay. All right. So I know some girls, when they bind their books, they get a piece of paper out and they mark it. I don't do that. I just kind of like to wing it. It may not be your cup of tea, but I can only measure so much. So I will just eyeball this. And I just want to make sure that I have all my papers in order here. And it looks like I do. So I'll get all of these ready here. And I'm going to I'm just going to put some of these little tabs on this for now, just to keep these and sometimes the paper isn't cut evenly. Don't worry about it. I mean, these are called, I mean, journals, nothing's perfect. And the whole idea is just to have fun with them. I know some girls do such beautiful work out there. And I figured I do what I do. I do what I do. And I can only worry about what I do. Okay. So once you get, this is how I do it. Once I get everything in here and I know that it's good to go, I just kind of look at the placement. And if I'm happy with it, and it looks like everything's a go. I have this handy little, this is a scratch all. And I just found it in my toolbox. It's nothing fancy. I think it was my father-in-law's that I grabbed at one time. And some girls have real fancy, you know, they get their books in there and they've got this fancy dancy thing. And I don't. Again, I just like kind of eyeball this. And I like to just put it, I'll hold it like this. And I don't even worry. Let's see here. I'm just going to grab a clip here, just to kind of keep it in place a little bit. Okay, just like that. And then I just hold it with my fingers. And I'll put another one here. And I'll put another one here. Okay. And that just kind of holds it in place. All right. Okay. And then I just make my, and again, so you're going to measure at 8. So here's about 4. Here's center right here. So I just make a little tiny thing, and I just close it right up. And I just punch it. And then I just, on each side here, again, I just kind of eyeball it. I kind of really do it the primitive way. And it just always seems to work out for me. Okay. Okay. As long as it goes through my book, I know I'm through. All right. And then I have this ropey twine here I thought would be nice because, again, I'm trying to keep it, I'd like to call this burlap and lace. And I'm just trying to keep it neutral. And this here is a large, this is for bookbinding. This was my mom's set. And I love it. This is very old. There's no year on it. But this one here is for a bookbinding. This is packaging needle, this one here. This is a carpet needle, which I've never had to use before. This is a sailmaker's. I wonder if this one, I think this one might be for sewing package covers with string, for repairing sunblinds, deck chairs, tents, tarpaulins, and sails. And then this is your curved. So these two may be switched because this looks a little bit bigger. This might be the sailmaker needle, but this is a really wonderful set. And I use the bookbinding one. And then you start in the middle. You just bring it through. I used to be so nervous when I made these because I never knew if I was doing it right or I watched a lot of Gail Agostinelli, and I was able to achieve and get my confidence after watching Gail 18 gazillion times do her journals. All right, and then you go, what I do is I go back in the middle right here like this, and I go on this side of it. You see that? I go on this side. And I come back up through. Okay. And then I come back through this way, and I have to find my hole. Because of the lace, it's hard to find where that hole is. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through here. To find it. It's right there. All right, I'm going to punch that again. Want to make sure that that does go through there. Yep, okay. So it looks like it's right there, and it is. Okay. Sometimes I just have to get my bearings straight again. So where are we? Oh, I'm all turned around here. Okay, so this is the top. And this is what I have to do. Okay. And then right here. And we're going to go through right there. Okay. And I don't, if I have a ball, I don't cut it. I know a lot of gals do, but I don't cut it. All right. And then I take this and I go under. Right here. I can take these out now. Let's take these off. So I have more. I have more flexibility. Okay. And then I go under here. And then I will just, now I will cut this because I will end up getting it all discombobulated. And I just want to make sure that everything is tight on this side. So before I go under, over, I'm just going to pull these threads up there And I'm going to tie it. And I'm just going to go back and check just to make sure that that's good there, and it is. Tie, and then I'm going to make a bow. And the only reason I'm doing that is if from traveling back and forth, if we have to make an adjustment, it'll be easy to make that adjustment. So there you go. Everything is bound. And I put my book away. Let me clean off my area here. All right. So that is all bound, and it's all set and ready to be journaled in. I'm going to keep that little bow there. And see, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. And it is all set. So this is my book. And then I will, I guess what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to mail, probably, I'll have to discuss this with my buddy. I will probably mail her mine first, and then she'll do her 3 pages, and I'll work in her book. But these are really, really, really cute journals, and I'm really looking forward to the collaboration with Liz over at Buttons for Brains. And yeah, so that's it. See how easy that was? So if you want to continue watching the series, the collaboration, please subscribe. I would love to have you subscribe and watch this. It's going to be a lot of fun. And please, if you don't follow Liz yet, go ahead and follow Liz over at Buttons for Brains. I'll have everything in my description. And yeah, so thanks everybody for joining in. Like I said, this is going to be a lot of fun, and I'd hate to have you miss out. So we're just going to continue. I'm going to be sending Liz hers, and I'll be working in mine, and we will see you soon. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.